Hello everyone. So let's continue to add things to these pages to make them more interesting. Now, we have put one, maybe two interesting focal point type things on the page. So let's go back and randomly add something to each of the pages. Just one something. It can be a detail, it can be, something in the background, or it could be something that has a focal point to it. Gather some things together. I've got words, I've got some fussy cut little bits, I've got some larger images, some small images. I've got some things that I can use in backgrounds just in case I need something behind something else to cover up an ugly spot. I've got postage stamps and tickets and numbers, things that would add a little bit of interest, a bit of washi tape. So I've got things so that I can see stuff, and it makes it easy when you can see what's going on just to grab something randomly and put it on the page. I'm not going to glue this time. It takes too long to sit there and glue stuff. So I'm just going to show you the basic process. I just picked that because I don't really like the way he's floating up in the air. I think I need something large to attach him to the page. And that kind of came to my mind. I'm not sure that I really like another figure with this already figure, but it's random. It might work. Then I need to add something for over here. I kind of like that she might be looking in the mirror. This is what my process. I cannot be random. I try to be random, but I end up pulling it back and looking at how things are interacting on the page. I have a real hard time with just grabbing something and putting it down. So, if you can do that, that's a cool little something in that. It's better just to grab something, put it down, not worry about it, and go to the next page. I see yellow kind of here, so I kind of want to match that, and I see yellow over here. So maybe I'd put something like that there. This is pretty large. I really don't need another large image, so maybe I just put a ticket. Just glue it down. Move on to the next page. This page is going to be a little difficult. If I put anything in between these two figures, they're going to have a barricade between them, and they're not going to look like they're looking at each other. This one's going to be a little tricky. I'm going to have to come back and really look at this. But I am kind of looking at these arrows here, and I'm looking back and forth at the two ladies. It makes me think of maybe I need a dress pattern bit that has arrows kind of pointing back and forth. I think I do have some. I do have some dress patterns here with some arrows. These are too large. That one might work. It might be just too small. Here's one. Yeah, I might just take a bit of that off. And dress patterns are nice because you can see through them. They're not completely, I don't want that line there. And I don't want to cover up the dog. I might have to tear it a little bit closer, or even put that underneath the dog. But that connects those two figures. It's just something that I do. You don't necessarily have to do it. This is going to be a problem, so I will come back to it later and deal with that. But that's what I suggest. Just coming and just randomly adding some kind of image to go with what you already have there. I need something over here. This is going to be a difficult page. Maybe I'd pick something like that. Something, I want this covered up, so I would need something with a bit of a straight edge there. Maybe the kitty. Oh, see, the kitty's got his paw up, and he looks like he might be batting at the airplane. See, my mind starts working at how things are interacting together instead of just randomly doing it. So this is difficult for me. So that's what I would do. Randomly put just one more thing on, and then after I go through all the pages, I would go through again and pick out some little details, like the postage stamp. This spot right here, I really don't like the looks of, so I'd probably want something that would disguise that, and something small on top like this postage stamp, where you start layering smaller bits on top of smaller bits, and that starts to blend your collage together so it looks like a finished piece. Maybe I'd want to put that pink house balancing on this chair. It brings out the pink of the postage stamp. Go on to the next bit. So maybe I'd want a giraffe head coming out of the airplane. I don't have one of those next to me, but something kind of like that. Maybe I would want a number or something over the kids. Randomly put things together. Randomly. So this is kind of interesting. I see some pink, and I see pink here. So maybe I'd put that flying pig on this side to blend the two pages together with the pink. Something completely random. Here's another little pink pig. I might want to put him with the trees. I just don't like the way that he's looking off the page. But anything could work, anything. Maybe this little bit instead of the pig. I don't like her flat hair, so maybe I'd put something on top of that to disguise that. Just disguising parts that I don't like. So a couple of ladies on top of this lady, it's kind of interesting. Maybe they're all going to a concert. This elephant is playing the piano. I don't know. It doesn't have to make sense. And maybe I could put the flying pig over here, except all the pink is over here. Just go back and add some things. You could add words in places that need a little bit of camouflage. Maybe some really white spot that's catching your eye that you want to cover up. So keep going. If you have a hard time with, maybe something needed to be behind something else, you could have a page like this and say, okay, I'm just going to add that next time, and go to the next page, add things, not glue them down. And then when you start adding details, come back and say, okay, I'm going to put this underneath that, and on this side I'm going to add a little bit of music down here. And then go through all your pages, and then come back again and say, okay, I'm going to add something more to this page. I want it to be extra special and have all kinds of things on it. So then maybe I am going to add her, and I need some color or something over here. Maybe this. And not glue anything down until you think you've got plenty of stuff, and then sit down and start gluing things in a way that makes sense to you. Maybe you need the postage stamp underneath the bird so you can see the bird. Maybe you need the Venus on the other side of this. You can arrange things and then glue everything down at once. But if you randomly put them on the page without planning it ahead of time, it helps sometimes to be more random. So that is what I'm suggesting. If you really, really want a random type collage, my process is more of, I like to figure out how the elements on the page are interacting with each other. I wouldn't put Venus with this other statue type character. They're too similar. I want them a little bit different. but I do like this bird here, and the postage stamp behind, it's a world, it's like a earth, so it kind of looks like something space in the background, and I like the way that color of the envelope that's left matches this and brings that out. I do need something for over here, maybe another hand to bring those hands together. This one, I need to disguise this somehow, and maybe putting Venus on that straight line will hide it. That's more of my process, where now I've got one of something on the page. What can I add to that page to make it interesting? How can I get the elements on the page to interact with each other? Maybe I want a giraffe that's looking at the turtle. Maybe a dog looking at the turtle, but now the dog is floating in midair, so I need something to have it balance on. Maybe that won't work at all. You know, that's my process. I randomly select things, and I have a lot of things out here to select from. I may not, actually physically, think of, okay, so I've got this, now I want, I don't even know. I don't even know what I would want there. I have to see something and audition it and see if I like the looks of it and try different things out. It makes me a lot more happy. So I kind of like that. But it needs something to balance on. So that's more of my process. The randomness of one thing on the page makes me think of what else can I put on. And it doesn't necessarily have to make any sense. No sense at all of what I can put on there. It's more of a what looks good to my eyes as I'm doing it. Do I like the looks of this with that? Maybe he would look better over here. Maybe this ship would look better, fussy cut out, of course, so that the ship looks like it's coming out of this, going to the sea, to the city, or whatever. I like having things out here that I can look at and try and see what happens. I would like that. I like the way she's interacting with the background, but she covers up my sewing machine here, so I don't necessarily like that. The sewing machine is right on the top of her head, so that might be kind of interesting. It's very random. I would never have thought of putting a sewing machine on this girl, but it looks okay. I might just keep that. And then again, I might try something different. You never know what you can come across. I'm seeing a lot of white background, and I'm seeing these two blue figure types. I like the white. It kind of ties the page in. And there's no eyes on this guy here, or this girl. So I'm thinking maybe if I fussy cut this instrument out, like he's blowing that instrument into the other figure, they're connected somehow. So that's how my mind works. I use what I've randomly put on the page, and then I work with it. But this process takes a long time. And if you want to do a random collage book, you're probably looking for something that's just a little bit more quick. I don't recommend really fussing with trying to figure out just the exact right thing to put on your pages. Sometimes it's not very fun, and it takes way too much time, and you get tired of it, the project, after a while. That happens to me quite a bit. So if you can train yourself to be random, just quickly make decisions, you're good to go. It's a much easier, much faster, much more fun process that way. I have a hard time with random because I think too much. It's part of my process. I like to fiddle. I enjoy seeing how I can get my elements to interact with each other. It's part of my challenge for myself. But sometimes I would rather be a whole lot more random and not worry about what I'm putting on the page. I would love to just pop things on the page and move on and enjoy it. Um, so he's kind of cool on the chair. Um, but it's just something that I have to practice at more. So that's what I would do. I would just continue putting things on the pages until I get all my pages to where I want them to be. And then I am going to make a cover to put my signatures in. By that time, they're going to be nice and fat. They're going to have a lot of stuff on them. I'm going to know how thick a spine I need for my cover. So that is the next um, part of this. Adding stuff to your pages. You may want to just leave 1 or 2 items on each page. You may want 20 things on each page. It just depends on your style, what you like. I've got some of these that don't have anything at all on them, and she looks really good there. I might just leave her there and put her there. I do like the looks of that. It's a girl. Can't see it in this light, but it's a girl with a magnifying glass looking at the stars or sunrise or sunset or something, but it's not quite so dark in person. But that is the next thing, randomly putting stuff on. And I have been working on some of the pages. So you can see this later when I get it all put together. I will, of course, do a flip through, and hopefully I can get that done soon. So that is the next thing. I am going to post these videos, so I don't know exactly when I'm going to get these pages finished and get ready for putting them into a cover. You've seen me put the signatures in covers before. I'm just going to use a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, make a cover, and put them in. And when I do get it done, I will do a flip through and show you all the little collages that happened along the way. And I will do some videos showing the process of putting those pages together. But that's pretty much how to put together a random collage journal. Randomly, just working on several pages at one time and not necessarily trying to plan each page as you go. It's more random if you randomly put something on one page and move on and then have to come back and put other stuff on. It ends up being extremely random and a lot of fun. So thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. I will be back when I get it in the finishing. I will show you how to do the cover. So thanks for watching.